Hello, are you here to debate?
What's up, man? Yeah, I've been in here before.
Okay. Were you here the last time I asked people why I should vote for the loser?
No, it was you had a bunch of stuff, like a list of stuff.
Okay, well, why do you think I should vote for the loser?
Bro, because I just put $15 in my truck and I'm already at a quarter.
What does that have anything to do with me voting for Kamala Harris?
Because, bro, we need to lower the gas prices and stuff.
What did Kamala Harris do to raise gas prices?
Well, I don't know, but they're higher now.
Well, yeah, what did she do to raise them?
Well, she didn't. I guess Biden did.
What did Biden do to raise the gas prices?
I don't know, bro, but it's higher.
You know who rose the gas prices? I'm going to blow your mind here.
Donald Trump.
That guy, when he struck a deal with OPEC and told them to cut production right before COVID hit. And he fucked us all because he had them cut back on production of oil.
Okay, here's another question. Wasn't Kamala, like, not in favor of fracking 4 years ago?
What do I care about what she was in favor of 4 years ago?
Because she's a liar and she's changing her mind based off what the people want?
I'm sorry. Are you telling me you haven't changed your mind on anything in 4 years?
Some things, but
Okay.
I'm also not running for president.
I don't care that a president changes their mind in 4 years, right? 4 years is a long time, especially considering prior to the 4 years, she wasn't in the White House. So she probably learned something in the White House that changed her mind. I have no issues with this.
Okay. Can I ask you why you're voting for her?
Because she's not Donald Trump.
Okay, well, I'm not voting for her because I'm not, what?
It's pretty simple. Donald Trump is a terrible president. He's a rapist. He's a liar. He's defrauded the American people. Why would I want him as president?
How do you defraud the American people?
By lying under oath about what specific funds for his business was for. He lied about what they were for when they were actually to pay off a porn star because he didn't want people to know he cheated on his wife with a porn star.
Be fair, that's technically legal.
Well, okay, well, by your logic, when did he do that?
What are you talking about? He did when he ran for president the first time.
What do I care what he did 4 years ago?
Thank you, Boo.
Were you born slow, or did slow just like hit you like a ton of bricks when you got older?
Okay, you don't have to be mean.
Yeah, there's a difference between someone changing their position on like a topic and someone lying and defrauding the American people. That's two different things.
Kamala lied. My brother.
You do realize that Kamala has openly lied in every single debate that she's attended, and then proceeded to give her first and only interview after a debate to a news anchor that nobody fucking knows, and then lies about that too.
We're talking about lying, and you think I'm going to care about Kamala's couple of lies versus the fact that Trump lies like 20 times a day?
That is a completely redundant argument.
No, it's not. If your issue is with if your issue is with lying, you have to be even across the board. You can't say I'm mad at Kamala because she lies. Because I'm not mad at Donald Trump for lying. I'm mad at Donald Trump for defrauding the American people. He committed a crime.
What is the definition of defrauding? What does that mean?
You don't know what defrauding means?
No, I sincerely don't, and I would like you to explain it. I really don't.
Cheat, to deceive, to cheat.
Did Kamala Harris cheat? All the people she threw in jail for petty marijuana charges?
She didn't throw a bunch of people in jail. The only people that were in jail under Kamala Harris's run, first of all, Kamala Harris saw less people arrested for marijuana than the person before her. But the only people that were in prison for actual just marijuana charges was like 20 people. So try again, bud. Like, it's okay that you guys don't know what you're talking about because you only funnel your news through Donald Trump, but I don't. I actually verify the shit that I'm talking about.
No, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just I'll probably still vote for him no matter what, but
why? What did he do? What did Donald Trump do to earn your vote besides just be Donald Trump?
Well, there were no wars in office.
False.
There were no wars.
False. We were already in the middle of 3 open conflicts. They all still went the entirety of his time in office. We didn't leave Afghanistan while he was in office. We were still in the conflict in Yemen. We were still in the conflict in Syria.
Took ISIS down.
No, ISIS still exists.
Well, true, but
So then what did he do, friend?
I just ain't paying. I didn't pay as much for normal stuff than I do now.
Yes, because we were coasting off of Obama era economic policies. There's
So
a
your
reason why we
argument
went from a recession to not a recession. And then if you look at a graph of our actual economy, it just trends on the trend that Obama gave. When Trump came in office, he didn't pass any significant policies.
So it's okay for Biden to fail an already coasted economy, but
How has Biden failed? Give me the numbers, because unemployment is down, inflation is down. Fuck. Yes, it is.
It's not. It's at a
Nation
7.8% increase since the start of his term. Just because it's gone down in the last few months, because now the election's coming up and they want people to fucking vote for him, doesn't mean that it's
That's
not.
not how inflation works. It's not how inflation works. Inflation's at 2.5%. It's at 2.5% right now. They can't artificially make inflation higher. And even if they did, let's talk about it. What specific things did Joe Biden do to make inflation higher? What did he do?
He almost hit the debt ceiling and sent us into a complete blackout because he gave so much money to a foreign country that we have no business fucking with.
No, he didn't. That had nothing to do with the money that we set aside for Ukraine was already money that we set aside for foreign aid. So try again. Yes, it was.
You actually have to give Ukraine foreign aid, but that's somebody else's fault.
Again, none of this is saying how Biden messed with the economy, because giving money to Ukraine doesn't inflate our economy. That's not how it works. Economy inflation is due to supply and demand for the most part. It has nothing to do with us giving money to foreign countries.
All I'm saying is, I pay more for stuff now than I did 4 years ago. And gas. I got pictures of all that stuff, bro. Tell me why.
Gas prices are higher because
Trump, and it's bad. It was bad.
gas prices were higher because Donald Trump struck a deal with OPEC in his last year in office to have them halt production. OPEC is the largest organization of internation oil companies in the world. OPEC supplies most of the world its oil. So when Trump had them cut back their supply because he threatened protection, he said, if you don't cut back your supply, the US military is not going to protect you. Specifically looking at Saudi Arabia, he said, either cut back your supply or we're done protecting you. When he had them cut the supply, it made the prices of oil go up because there was less oil. So the demand was up and the supply was down, thus leading to inflation.
Why didn't Biden fix it?
He did. That's why gas prices have been trending downward under Biden.
Well, they haven't.
Look at the national average of gas. It absolutely has been trending downward.
Oh, right now it has gone down a little bit than it was, but over the past 4 years.
But also, just real quick, Biden can't just like magically make them produce more oil. They have to get back to the production numbers they were at pre-COVID, pre-Donald Trump's deal, and they haven't hit that yet. Because
So
not
is
only did
Kamala
Donald
gonna do that? Is he going to drill?
Kamala has no, first of all, we are drilling more right now as a country than we ever have in history. Biden put forth more oil leases in his first 2 years in office than Trump did in his 4. So we are producing more oil. But again, the issue is that OPEC supplies most of the oil that is used in gas stations. OPEC has not yet reached pre-COVID production numbers still. It takes a while to do this.
Okay, so if it was, I mean, just me personally, I feel like stuff was cheap, and grocery stores, inflation, you know, I feel like Biden has had opportunities to fix these things and he hasn't.
You mean like when the Democrats proposed a bill that would stop grocery stores from price gouging and every Republican voted against it? Yes, it was all that was in the bill. So I heard him. Yes, that was all that was in the bill. Also, Donald Trump started a trade war with China that fucking decimated U.S. farms. The federal government under Donald Trump had to pay $900 billion. Was it $900 billion or $600 billion? It was a lot of fucking money to farms because he fucked up the farming industry. So yeah, it makes sense that our grocery store prices went up when farms couldn't produce as much. So the supply was up, or I'm sorry, the demand was up and the supply went down. Like, why don't people know this stuff? This is so easy.
Well, I mean, you it looks like you do. I don't know if you do this for a job, but you.
Yes,
spend a
this
lot
is
of
my
time.
job.
I don't, so I'm less educated than you are, but I'm just going based off my everyday life and how it's changed since Trump was in office to when Biden was in office.
Yes, but your everyday life changed because of Trump, not because of Biden.
But it didn't change until, I don't know.
Because it
2
took a
years
while
into
for the
Biden.
shit. It took a while. First of all, nothing could change while COVID was happening. And then it took a while for the Trump stuff to like hit the fan. Typically things don't happen like the first year you enact bills. It takes a while for the effects of bills to be seen.
What about the border crisis? How do you feel about that?
I feel like there is not a border crisis.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Show
That's
me
crazy.
show me the crisis. What's the crisis? People coming over? That's not a crisis. We've always had people coming over. So what is the crisis?
They're doing it illegally. That's a problem.
They always have. So what's the crisis?
It's
this
been
isn't
a
new.
crisis, bro.
But the issue now, I feel like, and I could be wrong, so I'm not trying to get shitty about it, but like, I feel like Kamala is almost making it seem like it's okay for them to do it illegally, and there's always been a process to do it the right way. But now it's getting to the point where they're overrunning shit.
Because nobody cares. Nobody does anything about it.
And
They're
I feel
not.
like that,
There's no. Well, nothing's being overrun though. There is no overrun. The U.S. citizens to undocumented immigrants still outrank them like 300 to 1. There's no overrun here.
What state do you live in, bro? If you don't mind me
Florida.
asking. Okay, I'm in Tennessee. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as overrun as other places might be, but like, there's definitely illegals here.
I don't mean the country so much as I just mean the border in and of itself. Like, I don't know the exact number because I haven't looked in a minute, but I know it's something. I think it's in the tens of thousands of undocumented people that literally will just walk across the border at any given day. And they're like, they don't go through the processes, they don't get any of the papers, so they come in and then they don't have like the necessary documents. Does that not also negatively affect the people that do like pay taxes? Because
First of all, the bulk of the people that are here that are here quote unquote illegally are on visa overstays, which means we know who they are. We vetted them. 60% of all people that we would consider undocumented immigrants are on visa overstays. We know exactly who they are. They were safe enough that we let them into the country and gave them a visa. They just stayed after their visa was out, right? If we want to look at the border, Biden has matched Trump in deportations and has matched Trump in turnaways. They're at the same. The only reason it seems like Trump did better on the border was because we hit COVID, so they were able to enact Title 42 and the Remain in Mexico policy. That's the only reason why Trump was able to do any of those things is because of COVID. COVID's over. He can't do any of that anymore because it's unconstitutional. So what's he going to do now?
I feel like the only reason it still happens is because we make it okay for people to come illegally.
How do we make it okay? You still get caught. You still get sent back. Like, how do we make it okay?
Well, I mean, there's obviously a border crisis. I mean, nobody's doing anything about it.
What's the crisis? Just people coming over here is not a crisis, friend.
There's also the Haitian problem. That's a real thing.
The Haitian problem that JD Vance lied about.
Yeah.
That Donald Trump lied about, that he admitted on
There's
national
lots of
TV,
real accounts.
that he said, no, there's not. JD Vance said on live TV, no, there's not. Not only did this, not only has the mayor of the town said that this isn't happening, all the police said this isn't happening, the townsfolk are saying it didn't happen, the person who created the original Facebook post said that she made it up, JD Vance said that him and Trump made up stories. So if all
JD
of these
Vance said that?
Yes, he said it on live TV in a CNN interview. He said, and I quote, he said, if me and Trump have to make up stories for you guys to pay attention, then we're going to do that. And quote unquote.
there's no guarantee. I mean, hypothetically, were they talking about that specific incident?
Yes,
or
they
was
were
he just-
specifically asking him about the eating pets thing. Very,
I'm not
very
talking about that
completely asked him
specifically.
about that.
I'm not talking about an eating pet.
Then there's nothing else because the people in that town don't mind the Haitian immigrants. Every one of them that's come on TV has been like, the Haitian immigrants are fine here. First of all the Haitian immigrants are here legally because Haiti is an automatic asylum seeking country. They're not here illegally. They're asylum seekers. They're here legally. So if they're here legally, what's your issue?
I don't have a personal issue.
Then why bring it up and say the Haitian problem?
Well, because I've seen lots of videos of actual people talking about it being a problem.
I've seen videos about people talking that mermaids are a problem. Does that mean mermaids are an actual problem? Someone saying something doesn't mean anything.
So you just shouldn't believe what people say?
No, you shouldn't outwardly just believe everything you see on the internet. You should verify it with your own research.
Okay, that's what I did. I looked into it.
If you did, you know it wasn't an issue.
No, there's definitely a border crisis. That's
What's
not debatable.
what's the crisis?
There are people that come here illegally
That's not a
that when you
crisis.
need to pay for.
This is not a crisis.
That's not a crisis.
No.
I can agree to disagree.
Undocumented immigrants are essential to our economy. Essential. Not only do they pay $100 billion in taxes every year per the IRS, right? The IRS is like, yeah, they pay taxes. They pay $100 billion of it. But if you remove them, our farming industry is going to go to bunk. And this has happened before, where we've had mass migrant deportation, and then farms have literally had to throw away produce because there was no one working to pick it. There was no one working the farms. There was no one working to make sure the produce got to the stores. Because farms, agriculture, is one of the biggest employers of undocumented immigrants. But people seem to have a problem with the immigrants getting employed, not the employers technically breaking the law and employing the immigrants. So
Okay, so you agree that it's a problem for them to take American jobs illegally?
they're not taking American jobs because Americans aren't working these jobs and they refuse to work these jobs. They are not the ones breaking the law by taking the job. Hold on. They are not the ones breaking the law by taking the job. The employers are breaking the law by hiring them. The employers know that they're undocumented and they hire them anyway.
Well,
That's
sure,
the law
that's a
break.
problem too, but
Then why would I blame
that's
the poor person who needs work and not the person that's breaking the law?
if they're here illegally, that's the problem.
There are okay. So again, what do you think we should do? Should we mass deport all the people?
I'm not necessarily saying that. I think we should stop letting them in.
We don't let them in. Our border is closed.
Right.
Is our border closed? What more can we do if they're here undocumented? Wait, if they're here undocumented, meaning they cross the border without our knowledge and or overstay on visas, it's already illegal to cross the border without consent, it's already illegal to cross the border without applying and without doing all that. What more policy-wise can we implement at the border to stop them from doing this?
The whole border crisis thing is because it's not secure enough already.
What can we do to more secure the border?
I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do, but
The answer is nothing. The border is already closed. The answer is there is nothing else we can do to more secure it. That's not how this works. The reason why people come through the country is the conditions of the country that they're leaving. So putting up more walls around the border isn't going to do anything when people are crossing the walls that already exist.
It needs to be more strict.
How? It's already strict. How do we make it more strict?
I don't know what exactly to do, but
Because there is nothing to do. This is my problem with people who complain about the border. There is nothing. No, there's not.
There's one politician who says we need stricter border policy, and then there's one politician who didn't.
What
say
is
that
the
4 years
stricter
ago.
border policy? What is the stricter border policy? Because there is none. That's the problem. Donald Trump is going, well, we need stricter border policy. Can you name me that policy that Donald Trump is proposing to make the border more strict? What's the policy?
I cannot.
Because he doesn't have one. He has never once said what his policy is. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a policy. He's saying things that you want to hear, and instead of looking into it as like an informed voter would, you're just going, yeah, I like the way that guy speaks, which is nonsense. That's not the way you pick a president.
Okay.
If
so
Donald Trump
says
gives
the
such
same thing.
real quick question.
What's our policy?
If Donald Trump gives such a shit about the border, why is it that he told Republicans not to vote for a border bill that they wrote. Republicans wrote the border bill that was going into place 10 days after Title 42 expired. Donald Trump said to the Republicans, and this was admitted by Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham has admitted this, that Donald Trump told them not to pass the bill so that the border would be in crisis so he could run for re-election on the border. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about the border. He cares about playing the American people like a fiddle, and you're falling for it.
Okay, so Kamala says the same thing, though. She says there's a border crisis. What's she going to do about it?
Kamala Harris was willing to sign the bill that Republicans wrote and Democrats agreed to get more money for border security, more judges to go through asylum cases. It would restart the wall. Why didn't it get signed when the Democrats were all ready to sign it? Republicans were all ready to sign it until Donald Trump called them and said, don't.
You heard that phone call happen? All right, bro. You're a good guy. I gotta run.
Okay.
Have a good evening, man.
Bro, I hate uninformed voters so fucking much. I fucking hate uninformed voters, dude.